Do you shower sit? Do you sit in the shower?
Not typically.
You know, there's a community of people that are shower sitters.
Do they have like chairs or?
No, not all of them have
like
chairs.
They just sit on the floor?
Yeah, they turn the shower on, they get in the shower, they wash themselves off, or before they wash themselves off, or after they wash themselves off, and they just sit in the shower and let the water let the water smash upon them.
I have done that when I was like incredibly sick before, where I've just been like dying sick, have like the flu or pneumonia or something, and I'm just like in the shower, like laying in the bathtub, just letting it just fall on me, and I'm like blowing my nose onto the ground, and like I've done that for sure, but I've never like done it as a fully functioning human.
Like just on a regular basis, you just
no
sit in the shower.
Typically when I'm taking a shower, I just want that shit to be over as quick as possible because I think it's just such a waste of time. I do it just to
bathing is a waste of time? What?
Yeah, I got shit to do, dude. There's video games to play and shit. Like, I'm jumping in there.
Is a waste of time. Well, you literally just said that.
Listen. It's not a waste of time because you got to get clean. I appreciate the cleanliness, and I take my time getting the giblets clean. But it's the idea of just standing in the water after you've cleaned yourself or before you've cleaned yourself. That seems sort of like a waste of time and water.
What is the average time that you spend in the shower?
I'd say on average it's like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
See, that's pretty long.
Yeah.
A 10, 15 minute shower is that's a very long shower.
I've also got really long hair, so it takes me a while to kind of clean my hair and shit and my beard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what? And then you want me to like lollygag on top of that and like sit in the shower for like another 20 minutes doing nothing with my arms crossed?
Some people do it, and I personally don't do it because I can't fit in my shower because I have a shower tub.
I want to clarify. I have done it. There are times where you're just
But you were sick though.
Well, yeah, where I've been sick, but then there have been times where I've like stood in the shower where there's those times where you just like get lost in thought and you don't even realize that you're in the shower that long because you're just like thinking about things. That happens sometimes.
I get it. When that happens to me, it's normally a bout of depression and I'm just sitting in the shower because the water coming out of the shower head washes away the tears.
Yeah, I've definitely been there too. I've definitely been there. Do you sit in the shower?
I do not sit in the shower because I can't fit in the shower. But
you can fit in your shower.
No, not comfortably. I remember sitting in my bathtub when I had to soak my ass, and when I sat, I literally was Moses and I parted the water in the bathtub in half. Like my butt was like nothing but my behind and the bottom of the bathtub. No water, dry as a bone. It was so dry that when I had to get up, I literally created some type of suction to the bottom of my bathtub. And then the water came rushing back in. I mean, dude, it was a whole thing.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you have to soak your ass?
That was before I had to go in and have my ass surgery because I was in pain. You remember the ass surgery?
I don't remember the ass surgery.
I had my ass replaced about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it'd be 3 years in April.
Why? What happened?
I split my asshole in two places.
Oh my God.
I split the actual sphincter, and I've split the inner lower intestine.
Oh my God.
And I had to have surgery for them to go in and repair it. And I've never shared that story on a free platform. The only other place where the details of that story is on my Fat Guy Radio Show bonus show, Afterburn.
We could cut that if you want. I don't. That's fine. But,
it's they're almost 3 years old. We can leave it in. But yeah, so I had to have surgery. That's why the running joke is always, Cory had an ass put in and an ass with Wi-Fi.
How long are your showers typically?
Well, you have to imagine that my showers are equivalent to washing an 18-wheeler truck. There's a lot of man over here to be washing, and I blow through loofahs like every 2 weeks because the loofahs just eventually give up. They're just like, this is too much to be had. Too much dependency upon a loofah.
Me, dude. You should be replacing your loofah frequently, just as a human.
No, I replace my loofahs on a 30-day rotation. I always do. And they fall apart. You always know when it's about time. But my showers on average are about 10 minutes maybe. A little longer if I decide to treat myself like an amusement park.
I can't do that in the shower. I don't know. I cannot do that in the shower.
We're not about to have this conversation on this show. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What a combo. What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. I'm Jake. That's Cory. What's up, Cory?
Shower sitters' lives matter.
That's true. Yeah, no judgment to the shower sitters.
Don't send us your emails because we're shower sitting shade.
Yeah. And if you do have problems, send it to Doug at Fat Guy Radio Show.
He'll love that.
Man. Dude, it feels weird. We've talked so much about like politics on the show for the past couple weeks, and I feel like there's just like not much. I mean, there's the typical Trump is being a bozo bullshit, but I don't feel like anyone's buying into that. I don't know.
We do. We have talked a lot of politics because there's been a lot of politics to talk. But the thing now is that the guy who's at the center of all attention and wants to be the center of all attention has somehow removed himself from the center of all attention. And I know this because the local news here did a piece on an art exhibit. Now, if the news broadcast has time to do a piece on an art exhibit that looked like it may or may not have been a couple of months old, that tells you that the Orange has gone silent. Now, the Orange did make an appearance on Friday of last week at the White House. He came out 5 days after Pfizer came out and said that they have a 90% successful vaccine. Now,
that's true.
All other world leaders were up and in front of their people, talking to their people, sharing their people. But Rump decides to continue to pout and hide in his bunker, plot and sue every state that he didn't win in. Instead of getting out, continuing to do his fucking job and addressing the American people about this potential potent, successful vaccine. So if people don't look at that time frame, how it took him 5 days to address it, that should tell you that this whole time it's been nothing but about him. Because now this is the time where, okay, you not conceded to the race, fine. But you still have a job to do. But then again, I think to myself, why am I even surprised by this? Because has he done his job up to this point anyway?
Yeah, I mean, his job is to try and get reelected right now. He doesn't give a fuck about anything else. And that's all he's ever cared about, which is why he did the whole fear mongering at the beginning, or the lack thereof of fear mongering at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where he didn't want people to get scared of coronavirus, which just means people stay home if they're scared. You yeah,
And
I
dude,
mean, that's Trump's.
There was a this was on Jimmy Kimmel, so take it for what it is. But there was a court transcript released. I think it was in the state of Pennsylvania, where Trump is suing for the election results, basically. And the transcript said, it had the judge, and I'm paraphrasing, folks, so take it for what it is. The transcript said, in your arguments, do you have any evidence to prove that there has been some hinky stuff going on in the votes? And the Trump administration's attorney says, not that I'm aware of. The judge says, do you believe that do you have any evidence to prove that there has been any falsification of records regarding the votes in the state of Pennsylvania? And the Trump administration attorney says, not that I'm aware of. Judge throws the case out of court. Same thing in Arizona. Our Republican attorney general has said there's just no evidence of there being any voter fraud whatsoever. So it's, you can challenge the results all you want, and he's doing what, and the administration is doing what they can do legally at this point. But still, dude, some good news fucking came out about the coronavirus. Not only just the vaccine, but this nasal spray. Have you heard about this nasal spray that's coming out? So there's a nasal spray that is supposed to be able to coat your nose and block any of the coronavirus from entering actually into your nasal cavity, going down into your mucous membrane and therefore making its way into your bloodstream. There is a nasal spray that is in the works right now. And it is an alternative to people that may have an allergic reaction to the vaccine. Those are two breakthrough, huge fucking things regarding the coronavirus. And the orange rump said fuck all about it until Friday. And then didn't take any questions from the media after his Rose Garden thing.
Well, yeah, he can't.
Two good things, man. Two huge breaking things that can possibly get us around the curve of this fucking virus. And this dude, he downplayed the virus. Now he's downplaying the fucking importance of what Pfizer has done.
Yeah. Well, just to bring it back a little bit to what you were talking about the attorney, like Rudy Giuliani is happy to go out and do a rally over there at the Four Seasons Landscaping. And he's
adequately across the street from a strip club.
Well, next to like a sex toy shop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's happy to go out there and say, we're seeing mass amounts of fraud. We're happy, he's happy to say like, we're seeing dead people vote across the nation. But as soon as he's under oath and asked the same questions, he won't say it because he knows if he says it and he's fucking wrong and he has no evidence and he's fucking wrong,
he perjures himself.
He gets in a lot of fucking trouble. I mean, we saw that happen to happen to a president before, and and the fact that the supporters are still buying in on this is absolutely remarkable to me. How are they still buying? I don't get it. And finally, not to cut you off, but I think part of the Republican Party is starting to say, okay, enough is fucking enough. Martha McSally finally conceded to Mark Kelly. She finally officially conceded, and she was one of the Trump suckers or Trump supporters that wanted
that was kind of holding out for the fact that, dude, your goose is cooked. Let's move on and let's get back to fucking business. But what were you gonna say?
Even Fox News is like, Trump is out of line by saying all this stuff, and I think Fox News can smell what's cooking, and I think they want to distance themselves from him pretty quickly here because who knows where this is going to go. Trump is turning into Alex Jones very quickly. I think you see it with a lot of the Republican Party where they're like, okay, now's our time to distance ourselves from Donald Trump, try to bring some legitimacy back to the Republican Party, because if the Republican Party stands against Trump, that actually shows like, hey, our morals are higher than our party because we actually stood against this guy. I think it's actually good for the Republican Party to stand against Trump because I think it brings more legitimacy to them to openly be like, hey, we may have been wrong about Trump. I think it brings if they can be open-minded, I think that's a big thing for them. And they're going to need some huge wins in the next 4 years if they want to stand a chance in the election in 4 years. Because
there was an article that I had saw in passing and I didn't read into it, but the headline was basically saying how Trump has destroyed the Republican Party. And not only just the Republican Party, but politics in general. Just absolutely have destroyed it. And it's going to take some really smart people to put this thing back on track. And the thing is, U.S. politics have never really been on track per se, but to even get it back to some level of normalcy after this dude has completely railroaded what little bit of sustainability we had. I mean, dude, this is people don't understand how big of a mark this is going to have from the history of this country. It's going to be so hard. And if people are just going to continue to ride that party because it's what the family has done, I would be interested to interview about 100 Republicans and just ask, why are you a Republican? Are you a Republican because your family was Republican? Your parents were Republican? Or did you break away from your family? I mean, why are you a Republican? Same thing with Democrats. Yeah. Why are you a Democrat? Why do you decide to be part of that particular party? Is it because it was your family lineage? I would imagine that 95% of the people that I'll talk to will probably come back to the fact that it's their family lineage.
I think that's absolutely the case for the Republican Party. I don't know about the Democratic Party. Seems a bit more, you might get a little bit more diversity in your answer there.
Possibly
but,
so.
But like Republicans will come up with some sort of bullshit. They're good at doing that. They're good at saying, we stand against affirmative action because, we live in a capitalist society and everyone should, be able to stand on their 2 feet and make it work for themselves, while also believing in the Electoral College, which is, it in and of itself affirmative action.
And it will never go away. For people that think that the Electoral College will ever go away, it never will. Sorry.
I mean, we'll see. And I could make an argument for why the Electoral College is fucking stupid, and I think I could convince anyone. But the thing with Trump not conceding, this is the first time, at least in modern history, that we've ever seen a president or a president's opponent just actively not concede, including Al Gore. There were some lawsuits back in 2000, that did happen with Florida, but there was some fuckery in Florida with the votes. We were trying out and they were trying out the new system, and some fuckery happened, and they had to do a recount. But it wasn't so much as like George Bush came out and said, hey, this is fraud, or Al Gore came out and said, this is fraud. They were just like, hey, there's some fuckery, we should recount. And they're like, okay, we'll sit back, and they recounted. Bush won. Al Gore conceded the next day after the recount. Yeah. Hillary Clinton, back in 2016, everyone said that, They were claiming fraud because of Russia. Hillary Clinton conceded the next day. She did. She came out and did a speech. She did a concession speech. She did.
Probably because she sat back and looked at what the probability would be, and it wasn't worth really fighting for. If you think about it,
right? There's no legal recourse that she could have taken. Much like where Trump is now, we've never seen a recount that has changed a count more than a couple hundred votes, and Biden is up in the tens of thousands in Pennsylvania.
And there's only been, out of, I believe I saw this on Channel 8, out of the recounts in history, only 2 has changed the results. And there hasn't been that many recounts to begin with. I think it's under 100 recounts in the history of the United States. And only 2 of those overturned and changed. And then in the law, in order to even have a recount, you have to be separated. The results have to be separated by 1/110%.
Yeah.
They have to be that close.
And that was the case in 2000 with Gore and Bush.
Right.
You know, it was like 200-300 votes in Florida. Like literally it was that close. And by all accounts, a lot of analysts have said that if they did a proper recount, Gore probably would have won that election. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but if Gore would have won the election, we would have never got the internet. Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah, we never would have gotten South Park's Man Bear Pig as well. And Biden is leading in the popular vote by almost 10 million votes.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty obvious who the American people want to win.
And it's official that Arizona is blue. Arizona was given to Biden officially.
Yep.
Even though my neighbors are still holding out hope with their Trump flags and their big trucks and stuff like that.
Give it a year. They're going to be like, what were we thinking?
I think there's going to be, dude, that's another thing. That's a very good point, Jake. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have a lot of political remorse in a year or two, where they're going to sit back and they're going to say, what the fuck were we thinking? Where we've lost family members, friends, co-workers over all of this, over this dude. I mean, people are going to have some high level of remorse. And then there's going to be those that aren't. And those are the ones that are the deep rump supporters. They're not going to have any remorse. The thing is that I want to ask.
Those are the guys with like Confederate flags on their wall already.
Those are the ones that want to see people like me not be able to do anything in life.
Yeah.
But I want to ask a Trump supporter, who were you before you became a Trump supporter? Were you a Mitt Romney supporter? Were you a Reagan supporter? Were you that passionate for any previous Republican presidential candidates? Why is being a Trump supporter so prevalent today than it has been for previous Republican presidential candidates or presidents?
You know what's crazy, Cory, is I bet you a lot of not a lot, but like a good amount of the Trump supporters voted for Obama.
They had to.
They had to have.
So are they just now so staunch behind Trump because of the fact that they allowed someone that looks like Obama to become president?
I think maybe what happened is, and this is all conjecture. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I've seen the pipeline. I know what the pipeline looks like, though. Your Ben Shapiro's, your Joe Rogan's, your Stefan Molyneux's. I know these people exist. And I think a lot of people voted for Obama expecting one thing and realizing Obama isn't some sort of, he's not a superhero. He couldn't do everything. He was also
No.
fighting the Senate on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, were expecting a lot from Obama, and he didn't deliver on everything. Say what you will about Obamacare. I think a lot of people got some short change with Obamacare. But that's not exactly what Obama wanted Obamacare to look like, in fairness.
And I know a lot of people I know a handful of people that benefited from Obamacare.
Of course.
But
those aren't
lives.
Those
may
aren't
have
Trump
been
supporters.
Saved. Right. Lives may have been saved.
Yeah. But those are not Trump
Obamacare.
supporters,
I just don't think, and I'm a lot older than you, Jake, and I just don't ever remember seeing such visceral passion behind a political candidate before. I don't think I've ever seen that, even when it was Obama versus McCain. And we both live in the state of Arizona. This was a red state. This state was called for McCain. And I don't remember seeing a lot of the passion during the McCain presidential run than you see for the Trump. I have a hard time understanding where this is coming from.
Trump is just such a polarizing figure. I think a lot of people were expecting him to kind of take our establishment, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. I think a lot of people were expecting to, see the establishment sort of crumble and change, which there's an argument.
Crumbled.
There's an argument to be made that it kind of did.
Oh yeah.
But just not in the way that I think is beneficial to anyone.
It literally showed he was successful at revealing the underbelly of this country and stirring up the ideals that have been festering at the bottom of society. He stirred them up, and they were comfortable, and he mixed it into the rest. So he woke up a sleeping giant, and unfortunately it was an ugly giant. And now Biden is saying that we have to rebuild and reconnect. What we have to do is we have to fill that void of where that sleeping giant came out of, and then we need to combat the giant. I literally could look at this as this is our David and Goliath situation in American society now, where we need to find our three stones. We need to find our three smooth stones, and we need to slay the giant that was stirred up in this country. It's always been there. Trump didn't invent racism. Trump didn't start racism. It's always been there. They've just never been stirred up, and they've never been empowered. And I feel that the administration gave them a voice and gave them power. And with that power, they wanted control, and they wanted to bring America back to the way that it used to be.
My hope, my hope is that, the pendulum swings so it can swing back, maybe to the other side a little bit. But, that's maybe just my optimism. I don't think it's fair to say that, racists are just racist and there's nothing we can do about it, because I think there is a way to reach these people who are maybe just a bit disillusioned, what's the word? Ignorant. And maybe, we've seen it before where it's like this guy used to be like a KKK member, and now he, is an activist, and or whatever. He had to get his swastika tattoo covered up because he realized he was wrong. Because the thing about it is like these, and it's hard to say this about Trump supporters, but it's on that line where it's like these people are part of a cult almost. And
that's a good way to put it, Jake.
Yeah, and like the Nazi Party and neo-Nazis, that's all cult stuff. And sometimes getting out of a cult means you have to like recognize that the people who support this shit are kind of victims in and of themselves. They're being taken advantage of.
True, but we're also going to have those people that are going to be in the mindset of the David Koresh supporters. David Koresh, there were people that knew, that eventually figured out that he was a whack job. But then there was also a group of people that were like, you know what, this man is the second coming of Christ.
Right.
And we're going to drink this juice and we're going to die with him. So there's going to be those people that are still going to die off under this administration. There are going to be those people that are going to still accept that
well, you know what we have to
mark.
do, and this may sound very anti-American of me, but you know
what?
Fuck
it. Anti-American. I like it when you're anti-American, Jake.
Can you be Uncle American? If I'm anti-American,
I will be Weird Uncle in the Closet American.
Thank you.
If you're anti-American.
Yeah. So what we need to do right now, because we took out the guy. We took out the guy who's been activating these motherfuckers and giving them a platform. And I think what we need to do now, and is have, well, until the transfer of power happens, we can just laugh in these people's faces. I think that's important too. Just you fucking lost, you loser.
Nah, no gloating. Important. No gloating.
I think a little gloating's okay right now.
I'll gloat on January 21st.
Sure. But also what we need to do is, and this may sound corny as fuck, is we need to stand here with open arms and say, hey, we know that you guys fucked up, but if you want to come over here, you're fucking more than welcome, dude. That's the thing. It's like progress and change is over here, and there's a fucking seat at the table for you if you want to come over here, man.
So you may have said come give Auntie a hug.
Yeah, you may have said some stupid shit, but there is a seat here at this table for you, my friend. But
all is forgiven.
But the people who continue to like be pro-Trump and treat him as though he's some sort of pariah or whatever, and this is the part where I sound a little anti-American. We just need to not give these people a platform. We can't. You just can't.
And unfortunately, that's something that we don't have any control over.
It's hard with the internet.
They're gonna get it.
It's hard with the internet.
Yeah,
but like,
totally.
But like this happened in the 40s in America, where a bunch of American Nazis went to Madison Square Garden, and it was American Nazis saying, we are American Nazi. It wasn't broadcasted because they knew this is dangerous to broadcast this. We need to just let it be. If it does come out that something happened, just say these people are wrong. That's what we need to do, is like, these people are wrong. Fox News actually did a great job of this the other day. Trump had a conference, and his press secretary came out, and she was saying like, this is fraudulent. Everything's fraudulent. Trump should have won. And Fox News said she's making claims that aren't accurate, and it's not within our best interest.
Yeah, they cut her off.
It's not within our best interest to keep airing this. And honestly, that's something you need to do, because that just gives them a platform, and they just need to not have a platform.
That needs to happen more.
And that's why Alex Jones got kicked off of YouTube, because they're like, this guy doesn't fucking deserve a platform. He's too dangerous.
Yeah. And that was the reason why I was looking for a tweet that Rump had sent out earlier, where he had tweeted something, and I'm paraphrasing here, about the fact that he was pretty much separating and breaking off himself from Fox News, where he's now calling Fox News fake news. And he was telling people to go over and look at some third world deep country news outlet that isn't governed by anybody.
Like OAN or something?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that, where it's not a reputable. It's basically telling people to stop reading the Arizona Republic and start picking up the Inquirer. Literally
Yeah.
it's the equivalent of that. And you know what, Jake? Maybe that's where this message needs to go. This message needs to go over. But here's the thing. I don't want to bury this situation because I'm a firm believer that you cannot fix or heal something if you keep it covered up. I think we need to uncover this. We need to allow more of these people to come out, and then we need to fix them. We need to give them the opportunity to see how wrong they are. If a person that is racist and hates a black person, sit down at a black person's table and actually have dinner with them. Meet their family. Hear some of their life stories. I think that if we allow these people to be exposed to what they fear or exposed to what they hate, it's like a kid that says, I hate milk. But that kid's mind may change if you say, don't you realize that ice cream is nothing but milk and sugar and cream mixed around in salt?
Milk is disgusting, though. We can all agree on this.
Milk is not disgusting, you ass face. But I'm saying that I don't want to hide these people. I want these people to come out. I want these people to be able to expose themselves because what's brought to light can be healed. Right. We're not going to get them all. We're going to still have those moonshiners in the hills of Alabama.
And I agree with you, sort of. I mean,
but I agree with you that the message and the support cannot be coming from the highest office in the land, because that gives them more credence and more, it allows them to be more bombastic about their messages and their belief, because they now see that someone in the highest office, the highest authority in the land, has their same view. That's where I agree with you.
I think it's a fine line, because like you don't want to, completely sever these people in case there are people that want to eventually seek refuge, and everyone is capable of change. Everybody,
right? Yeah, because it's a thin line.
Yeah,
between love and hate.
The danger is when you let Breitbart News, make it as a legitimate source on Fox News.
Yeah.
This is when it gets dangerous. So like there's a line, bringing on a guy onto your station to debate him, and like, there's an open debate happening. That's one thing. But then like saying, well, we heard from this source who is a known, like, racist source, and using that as a factual source, that's dangerous. And we've seen that with Fox News using Breitbart, or the Daily Wire, which are both like known for being right-wing propaganda, and
right.
There's the argument to be made that happens on the left as well, but like, that's what I mean. There's a line, and it's hard to decipher that line, and we certainly crossed it with this administration.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, we are on the same page. And I think I'm going to do something here on the show that I've never, ever done before. And it is very unprofessional of me. And you're going to have to cut this part out. But I need to go to the restroom really bad.
Yeah. Go ahead. And we're back.
We didn't go anywhere. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Definitely not a cut right there. So the PS5 came out.
Well, the PS5 came out, but let's talk about how you were trying to systematically fuck up my life.
Okay, please.
Jake's trying to turn me into a Twitch streamer.
This is not my doing. This is your own doing. This is you watching XQC every night. This is not me.
It's Blastoise, whose real name is Nathan.
Sorry.
Shout out to Blastoise, aka Nathan.
Yeah. Like, okay, you can't say it's me. All I suggested is like, hey, we should play Among Us together. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna buy gear and I'm gonna stream and I'm gonna set up lights in my bedroom, and
so you knew exactly how to get me into my feels about Twitch, because like when you talk to that girl and you say all the right things when you're macking, you said all the right things to me, Jake, and you got me.
What did I say?
You knew you knew I'm a sucker for technology. You know, you're like, oh well, I've got this Focusrite interface and this really cool kick-ass microphone and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, oh, I can have all this stuff at home. Oh.
I mean,
a lighting show, a background show, because you have it on yours. I love how your camera angle is when you're on your Twitch channel, because I've been Twitch sniper watching, where I just get in there and nobody knows I'm there, but they just see that.
We call that lurking in the biz.
Hey, then I'm a Twitch lurker, because XQC doesn't know that I'm there, but I'm there. Blastoise doesn't know that I'm there, but I'm there. Greek God X doesn't know that I'm there, but I'm there. And sometimes when I'm watching Blastoise and Greek God X is streaming at the same time, but Blastoise is really going at it and really kicking out the content, the next day I'll go back and watch Greek God X's previous live stream.
Yeah, I do that sometimes with certain people.
And you have now turned this on to me, and I've got a rager in my pants about the technology. And now I have all this new setup in my home. And then before the show, now you're bilking me for another $10 for Xbox stuff. This is all your fault, Jake. If I become a popular and highly successful and celebrity Twitcher, this is all on you.
So I get like 10% then, right?
No, I didn't say that. You're going too far. You know I will take care of your pale face.
Listen, I was like, let's play Among Us. And I was like, hey, man, Tetris Effect came out. We should play that shit together. Let's play some Tetris. That's all I said to you. And then you're we're going to stream all the time now.
Then you were like, hey, let me introduce you to this thing called Discord. And then you want to get this thing called Steam Labs or Crooked Labs or Laboratory Retriever, whatever. I don't know. So I'm downloading all this stuff, and then you and I are, and then of course, you know, I'm lonesome tonight, and I see the opportunity to now, number one, buy some new equipment, and number two, be able to hang out with my pasty face wife friend, who I never get to hang out with outside of doing this show. So now I have two opportunities of engaging in things that I love to do, hang out with you, other than me having to, you know, sit there and lurk on your Twitch channel when you don't know it. And then you and I are hanging out till almost 1:00 in the morning, configuring Discord and configuring Stream Labrador.
That is fun. And I'm like learning new things with you as we're like going through it together, which is nice.
And now I'm about to spend $10, $120 a year on Microsoft.
I mean, you don't have to do that. No. But you know, it's not surprising that you're starting to get into games, because it seems like the entire world is starting to get into games.
This is a dangerous world for me, Jake. This is a dangerous world, man.
It's the only like media that still exists and can still exist in the time of Corona. You know what I mean? Like you can't really
obsessive compulsive, man. And look at the lengths that I've gone to. I haven't even streamed one thing, and I've already got $500+ in on this, and I've not streamed shit.
That's on you, dude. That I don't even have that much money sunk into my setup, dude. My setup's a cheap piece of shit, but like I make it work. But you know, like you can't feasibly like make movies now without like getting a group of people together to shoot scenes. You can't release them in theaters. You can release them on Netflix and stuff, but like how profitable is that really? But video games, you can continue making that because all your developers and stuff can just work at home on their like swanky ass computers and stuff.
This is like, not a world I ever would have saw myself into until the greatest thing that ever happened to me, Jake Woods came into my life, and now he's twitched it up. You have twitched up my life, man. And I'm all in. I'm all in now. I can't wait to do my first Twitch stream. If people could see are we gonna stream? Are we gonna try to stream tonight where we're playing Tetanus?
Either Tetanus or Among Us tonight. Hopefully,
yeah. As soon as I reinstall it, because I deleted Among Us
earlier today. It's like 1 gig. It'll take 2 seconds. But yeah, man. Like I've noticed, like everyone's into gaming now. It's crazy. The PS5 launched this week.
Yeah, you've had a stone brick in your pants for this thing for quite some time.
And guess who doesn't have one?
Danielle.
Fucking me. Freaking me. I don't have one. I couldn't fucking find one anywhere.
You knew that, though. You knew that was gonna happen.
I guess, but like when the pre-orders dropped, I couldn't get in. Every time you try to get into pre-orders, sites just dropped. When it launched, you know, different retailers got restocked with more stock, but they all did it online. I was on the Walmart website. The way Walmart set it up was there was 3 separate times throughout the day where they were like, okay, you can come back at 3, 5, and 7 or whatever. So I was there at 3. I had it in my cart. The site crashed, and then it's like, there's nothing in your cart. I did it at 5. It was in my cart. Site crashed. At 7 is in my cart. Site crashed.
How much would you love me, and what would you be willing to do if I got you the Pissin 5?
Dude, I don't care that much anymore. Like damn,
I thought that was gonna be my way in. Huh?
I'm so disillusioned. Like it pisses me off because it's a bunch of people who haven't been playing video games that long that are buying fucking PS5s now. And me, a fucking PlayStation user for like 20 years now. The way they should have done it is people who have a PSN account and have had an active PlayStation Plus membership for X amount of time should have gotten priority over these goddamn consoles. Because I have proven to be a profitable investment for them. God damn it. Yes, because here's the thing. It's not just I'm buying the consoles. I pay for the membership every single year and have for 5 years plus now.
Your money means nothing to them when they have the eBay bots that are buying up all these things within 30 seconds. Not even 30 seconds, within 3 seconds. And I'm sure that you can get one for 8 times the price on eBay right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And you know what? Sony probably doesn't like that either because they'd rather have the consoles in someone's hand.
What do you mean they wouldn't like that? If the money is green, Sony likes it, baby. Sony ain't producing these consoles for people to be happy with the consoles. No, they're producing these consoles for the money.
Well, let me tell you why they're missing out on money by them going to bots.
Please.
Because one of these SKUs of PlayStations is a digital-only PlayStation. So if they're going to a bot that potentially won't sell it now or ever, because if this eBay seller bought 50 fucking PlayStations, they only need to sell 25 of them to make their money back, right? If they're missing out on PlayStations in people's hands, they're missing out on dollars being made in the storefront on the PlayStation. You know what I mean? Because like
that must be a deep gamer thought, because I don't get that at all.
Well, because one of the PS5s, there's 2 different SKUs. There's one that has a disc drive and one that does not have a disc drive. Okay. So the only way to buy games for your PS5, if you have the discless version, is to buy games. Yeah, is to buy games on the PlayStation Store that is on the console. And every time they sell a game on that PlayStation Store, they get a percentage of that money. If these PlayStations aren't getting in people's hands, that's potentially less money that they're making from people buying games in the store. And And also new memberships. A membership to PlayStation Plus is $60 a year. That's more money that they're potentially missing out on. They don't get that $1,000 that eBay person is making by buying. They get the initial $400 or $500 from selling the console.
But you don't think that person that's going to end up buying it from that eBay person isn't going to eventually give the rest of that money?
Well, that's what I'm saying is a lot of these eBay sellers buy in excess, and now they'll have 10 extra PlayStations lying around that they couldn't sell because someone didn't want to spend $1,000 to buy a fucking PlayStation. But that's fine for them because they can take the L on these 5 or 10 because they sold the other 10 that they bought.
Yeah, and they sold them at 4 times the amount. So selling one console is equal to selling 4.
Exactly.
So they just prop their feet up and put their cups on the ones that didn't sell.
Are you catching my drift here?
I'm drifting on your catch.
So I'm pretty sure Sony would rather these be in their hand. Also, it's not a good look for Sony for these to end up on eBay as well. Not that it's necessarily Sony's fault, although it kind of is for not having some sort of fucking CAPTCHA like every other fucking website has. Dude,
see,
Walmart didn't have a CAPTCHA. There was no CAPTCHA. It was just
I will never get into the console world. Never. Now, I did say I wouldn't get into the gameplay world and PC gaming because I always thought PC gaming was nerdy as fuck, but I clearly am nerdy as fuck. And when you told me that I can have a freaking Shure SM7B microphone and a Focus Fright in one of my rooms of my house, of course I'm all in. But I'm never going to go into the console. Never going to go into the never.
I mean, for you, it wouldn't make sense to buy a console at launch anyway.
No, I'm not that person. I'm not that excited about it. What was it gonna? How was it gonna benefit your life to have the Piston 5?
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
One game just to have the Piston 5.
Also, Bug Snacks.
What's a bug snack?
It's a game. Also, I'd get to use my new fucking controller. I'd get to try out the new controller. I'd get the new systems. I'd get the games in 4K, native 4K, up-reses of games as well.
Do you have a 4K TV?
I do.
You do not.
I do have a 4K TV. But also
if you don't have a 4K TV, 4K technology doesn't benefit you in the slightest. And people are so stupid. It's the same thing where people...
I have a 4K TV. I'm a gamer.
You don't have a 4K TV.
Why are you assuming this?
I'm not. I
know have a 4K TV.
You have a TV. It's not 4K. It's 1080 HD.
No, I've got a 4K TV. It's a Samsung.
Samsung doesn't make a 4K TV. I sussed you. You're the imposter.
You're crazy, man.
You were not in Medbay. I was in Medbay.
But also, the PlayStation 4 Pro plays 4K. But also, the PS5 has a 4K Blu-ray player, which is nice.
What's a Blu-ray? Oh, Blu-ray. Blu-ray is that small little that small little disc thing.
I also don't know if you know this. I have a video game podcast that I do, and it'd be very nice to have a PS5 to talk about on my video game podcast.
Oh.
That's
so you're going to spend $400 for 60 minutes of conversation.
No, also to play fucking Spider-Man Miles Morales.
You're slowly turning me into you. Are you going to dye my skin next, Jake? Is that what's happening?
Also, to fucking play Cyberpunk next month when that game comes out.
Because my kid does have an Xbox in this house that I could very well go and get because I've already stolen his computer gaming keyboard and mouse.
Well, you want to know the neat thing about Xbox and why no one needs an Xbox? And this is getting real gamey now. Check out the gaming show tomorrow as well.
Pardon the pun.
But But you don't need an Xbox if you have a good enough computer. Every game that is on Xbox is on computer. That is not the case for PlayStation. Like Spider-Man Miles Morales is only on the fucking PlayStation. But every game that is on the Xbox is on the computer. Specifically,
I'm sorry. What easy for you to say? Yeah, a big white boy lips just getting in the way.
I'm having a stroke over here.
Specifically,
Xbox
yes.
Game Pass.
Okay,
Xbox Game Pass is on PC.
So, Twitch rules. I need to know what the rules are.
Oh, like terms of service stuff?
Well, what I can and can't do. So,
okay.
If my Twitch camera happens to be set up in a room with a bed in it, having sex on the Twitch stream is probably frowned upon.
That's a perma ban for sure. Yeah,
okay,
that's a perma.
What if it's sex with an inanimate object and not another person?
I think any form of sex act is going to get you perma banned from Twitch. They take that
that's
serious.
a good. Okay, I'm glad you said that.
I think even like taking your shirt off will get you banned on Twitch.
But there is not true. Ask Greek God X. There is also.
Well, he's also got cloud on there, so he probably won't get banned for anything.
Okay, but there are also 100 ways of having sex that doesn't have anything to do with physical touch. Are those banned on Twitch?
If you want to do it that way, you just need to go over to OnlyFans or fucking Pornhub, because I don't think Twitch is the avenue you're looking for.
You can't stream on OnlyFans. You can't stream on Pornhub.
You could stream on Pornhub, absolutely.
Haha, that was a loaded question. I totally just caught you. You fucking disgusting little kid. You're streaming on Pornhub, Jake. I know that was you. I could pick your hips out of a lineup.
I don't stream. I just watch.
Okay. So, do I have to only play games on the Twitch?
No.
Can I sit there and just bitch and moan about stuff that Biden does and how sleepy he is and how hot Kamala is?
We've talked about Hassan Piker on this. He's
Hassan Ababi.
He's a big political streamer. All he does is politics and reaction videos.
Can I cook on Twitch?
Yeah, sure.
Since now it seems like every room in my house is a fucking stage.
Yeah, you could totally cook on Twitch. I think people would love watching that as well.
When the coronavirus is over, will you come to my Twitch studio?
Absolutely, dude.
No, you won't.
Not Pornhub, though. Not the Pornhub studio, but I'll go to your Twitch studio.
How do you know about the Pornhub studio?
We were just talking about it.
No, we weren't. I'm just being silly. I've read through the bylaws of Twitch, and it's they're no, like, now they're freaking out about music and Jake, you got me in. What the fuck have you gotten me into, man?
Yeah, Twitch.
I was just living my life.
Super...
I was just a freaking successful internet radio host. That's all I was doing. Now I'm twitching.
Yeah, Twitch is really hardcore about music now, so you need to be careful with that. And it's odd that YouTube is the more lenient one now when it comes to music.
YouTube ain't fucking lenient on shit.
Well, that's the thing, is YouTube will just be like, hey, your video got demonetized and all the monetization goes to someone else. Whereas Twitch is like, hey, you're permabanned and you can never come back to our platform ever again. So
who's to say that they just don't start up another Twitch account under another email? How can you be permabanned? Is Twitch capturing their IP address?
If they find out that it's you, they will ban it again. If they find out that you're going on someone else's channel and you've been permabanned, they will ban that channel. Twitch is super hardcore about all that shit, dude.
But then yet they let 15-year-olds sit there and scream the N-word while they're playing Call of Duty.
Well, not anymore. Like, that's why they're being super hardcore, because they've gotten so much shit. So
no nudity, no shirtless. Can I do a Twitch stream in a tank top?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Will my cleavage get me reported?
You know, I don't think it will, I think technically if they wanted to, they could, but I don't think it will. I think you're okay.
How do I get all of those followers?
That if I knew the answer to that, I'd have them myself.
Oh. I think that
Anyway.
I'm going to get so good at Among Us, Jake, that I am
Yeah.
going to systematically work my way into playing with one of my top 3 or one of my top 4. I'll start with Greek God X, even though he doesn't play Among Us much anymore. I'll work my way up to getting into a room with Blastoise. I'm pretty sure I could probably get into that room now because he's been playing with some really, really amateurish people. The next would be Sykkuno. And then the top notch creme de la creme lobby would be with XQC, who is literally the Among Us like 5-head. He wins at every game. If he's imposter, he's winning. If he's crew, he's winning.
My crew that I'd love to play Among Us with would be Sips. He's a great streamer. I'd love to play with Bruce Green. He's a great streamer. Girlfriend Reviews. I love them. And then of course Gus Johnson. And then my top tier would be AOC herself. I want to play Among Us with AOC. That'd be great. And Ilhan Omar.
That would be cool.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Hey, I want to take this last second before we end the show. I want to plug my new show that just dropped today, or on Saturday rather. We have a new rom-com show, and it just launched, and everyone should go watch it because I put a lot of time into it and a lot of effort, and it's really awesome. And we're going to be doing it once a month, hopefully. And everyone should go fucking watch it, as well as this show every Monday and the Loner Gamecast every Tuesday. That's the end of the show. Bye.
5, 6, 7, 8.